Hi everybody, I'm back. I apologize. I took a while to dial back in, but my bestie called. My bestie called. My bestie called. In fact, she called when I was busy on the live, so I just had to call her back. And oh, my bestie called, and she's sounding much stronger. Whew. I had, and my son just broke his knee. Are you okay? Please, can you? Oh, okay. He's fine. Can you take the deep heat of deep freeze, whatever he needs? Can you spray him with? Sorry, guys. Yeah. So I took a while because she called me, and oh, my heart is jumping. You've got no sound, no, but other people can hear me. So you tell me if you have problems. Can you hear me? Wave if you can. Just let me know if you can hear me. If you can't, let me know. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. So yeah, I took a while to come back because my bestie Lillian just called. Oh, guys, you have no idea. Like, oh, yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. She's recovering, thank God. She's recovering well. Whew. It's so nice to actually hear sounding stronger. Um, and she's the kind of person that she doesn't do well with not being independent. And the moment she told me she had tested positive for COVID, I immediately said to her, it's gonna be a very tough mental battle, because that's what I saw with my husband. So it's amazing that no, Baba Lopani, you seem to be the only one, my love. So maybe just log out and log back in, because others can hear me. So yeah, it's sure, thank God. Like, it's not out of the woods yet. So I appreciate the prayers very much. Thank you. Um yeah, there's a bit of sadness in my voice because my bestie is sick. So, but also her being sick is also a trigger for what I had to go through with my husband in January. So I think it's also just like it's a lot for everyone. But through the sadness and the heartache, we still have to live, and that's pretty much what I was saying earlier on. But I'm so glad that she's coming through, and we just can only pray for the best. We can only pray that God continues to heal her. But I'm also that person that my prayer to God is to always, I never question God. I never question why things happen, because if things don't happen the way they're supposed to happen, who else will I choose? Who should I choose to get the sickness? Yeah, I can choose criminals, I can choose corrupt politicians, I can choose quite a few people. And definitely not my loved ones, but this is the way of life. This is the order of things. But I just had a good conversation with my bestie. My bestie Lillian is recovering. She was strong enough to call me and have this conversation with me. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that. I'm really pleased about that. Okay, so where was I? I don't know what I was saying. I'm probably gonna end this live so that I do it the jump of joy. But I'll it's more a prayer and deep gratitude that I could at least have the conversation with her now. And yeah, yeah, she's very special to me, incredibly special. Even now, she's like, I mean, she said a lot of things, and then she says, you know, if there's one thing you must promise me, if you and I ever have an issue, or if you and I ever have a disagreement or a fight, or promise me you're gonna fight for our friendship. She's the only person I've made that promise to. Because man, I don't make promises like that. I've made that promise to her a long while ago. And she said to me, if I do something that upsets you in some shape or form, please don't give up on our friendship. Fight for it. And probably she's the one person that knows me best and knows so much about me. And she also knows that I'm a person. I don't hold on to things that are not bringing me joy. But she brings me so much joy. She's just such a special person. I could write a book about that lady. But you know, for now, I'm just grateful that she is recovering and she is getting stronger, and she could call me. She called me, and as I was on this live and I missed the call, I didn't see it. On my other phone, she called my husband, and my husband called me, and then I missed it, and then called the kids, and the kids are like, Daddy says Auntie Lillian has been calling you. So that's why I couldn't come back soon enough. But I appreciate your love. I appreciate your prayers. I'm grateful. But you know, there's one thing I know for a fact, and you know, even when she got ill, one of the things I said to her was, I love you. My last words when I talk to my loved ones, even my family, my kids before they go to school, is to remind them that I love them. But it's not enough to say you love somebody. It's not enough to grandstand and claim how much you love them. It's how you make them feel. It's if you say that you love them and they don't feel the love, then there's an issue. But I'm really blessed to have her in my life, because I don't even have to doubt that she loves me, because time and again she has come through for me. You know, over this period where she's been sick, because there was a time when it was really, 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 really bad. I mean, it got to a point where her oxygen was so low. I was looking through some of our photos, and I realized she has been there for every important moment in my life. And she has been there, even the times that I didn't even realize that, oh my gosh, she was there, you know? And I actually realized that the last 10 years of my life have had her in every moment, and she has been such a significant part of my life in so many ways, but pretty much like family, I think. And please correct me if I'm wrong, or if I'm off the mark. The way I started to feel about her when I was doing my reflections and looking through our moments over the years, I think for the first time in my life, it dawned on me what family feels like. I've never had that. And the two people who chose me, I mean, outside of my husband, I chose my husband. He thinks he chose me, but I chose him. But the two people whom were not romantically connected to me, who I felt chose me every single day, passed on within 3 months of each other in 2017. And I realized, you know, when I was going through these reflections, that even as I was dealing with those losses, Lillian was the person there picking up my broken heart pieces, you know. And even as I started, as I was looking through them, I started to be like, oh my gosh, this is actually this is what family means. Because I know what family means, but I have never connected with the idea of what family support and unconditional love means until this week. Because for me, it's something I've never had. I don't know it. So I've been building that with my children, with my husband, and translating what I believe is love and unconditional love and family and nurture, things that I never quite experienced to be able to translate. But I've just been like learning that, no man, this is how it should feel. And I've been taking feedback from them. I've just like been literally learning what family is through doing it myself, because I don't have a reference point for it. And Lillian is my family. She's been there for every moment. And it's not because I'm saying this now because she's sick. I'm just saying that this is the realization I had. And I've actually never, ever, 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 ever experienced that this is the depth of what family is. So when and I realized the difference between my husband and I. When we were talking, and I mentioned earlier, we were talking to the kids about what they want to be. One of the things he said to all four of them, he said, remember, it's not a competition amongst siblings. You need to support each other, and you need to know that your success is not always going to be aligned. So someone might be more successful, or some of you will be more successful than others. And what you should never forget is that you are only as successful as your siblings, as the people you support. In that moment, I sat and I reflected on what he was saying, and I realized my husband, this is the difference between me and him, but also this is the reason I chose him, because he's got such a deep sense of what family is, because he has always had it. I, of course, because I also have a voice, and I also want my children to get the other side of that coin. I then also offered to them that, but you can only meet the people you are supporting. You can only meet them as far as they are willing to lift themselves, as far as they're willing to push themselves across the line. And that my kids should never ever feel obliged, all of them, they should never feel obliged to support a sibling who does not do their best to support themselves. So support themselves in the sense that they have dreams, they chase after them, and they are trying hard. You know, when you're like, Aishem, you are trying hard, nah? And we will support you. You do not support somebody who's lazy and does not work and expect you to keep supporting them. So I realized that my husband comes from a big family, a big supportive family. They all pitch in for each other, not necessarily financially all the time, but like they actually emotionally support each other. I've never had that. I've always had to navigate life all by myself. There's never anybody, like I've never had to call a family member to support me for anything. And when you look at the differences between how we were brought up, it's quite interesting, and how we've experienced life and what we are transferring onto our children. And I sat at that table. In fact, there was a photo that we took afterwards that I asked him to give me permission to post, because I wanted to say something. He did give me the permission, I just didn't post it because y'all are nasty. Y'all are nasty. You see my husband somewhere and you tell him, oh, you are Amanda's husband. And she said this on Instagram the other day about you. Oh my gosh, we love your children. And then my husband comes home freaking out. And like, baby, why are these people coming up to me saying things? So you people, leave my husband alone. Leave him alone. He freaks out. Anyway, so I do have permission to post that photo, but I won't do it yet until there's a day when I will do it. But my husband freaks out. He's just like, baby, why are these people coming up to me? Why are these people talking to me? My husband does not do talking to people. It's like, why are they talking to me? So you people take Instagram things and you go tell them to someone who's not on Instagram, who doesn't even understand what you mean. And for him, he's just like, oh my gosh, the entire internet knows about me. The entire internet knows about my family. But he's come around. I've had to explain to him certain things. So I have permission to post these things when I want to. But there's a duration that I've committed to. But you people, guys, leave my husband alone. My husband has nothing to do with my Instagram life. Please, don't get so excited when you see him that you have to tell him about everything. And some of you, by the way, I meet you with him. I'm with him and I meet you. And the first thing you're like, oh my gosh, we know so much about you. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you don't. You're freaking him out, firstly. And secondly, you are lying. You don't know anything about him. Because I've only posted something about him in that moment, that's a fraction of our life. If we talk in percentage, it's 0.0025% of our life, of him. You don't know him. Chill. I've been wanting to say this, and this is the perfect opportunity. Leave my husband alone. Even when you see him, look the other way. Don't even act like he looks familiar, or he is Amanda's husband, or it's like, oh yeah, Amanda's husband. Oh my gosh, it's Amanda. Oh, we saw you were in Maldives. How was the holiday? He's not your friend. He's not your friend. Maz, leave him alone. Please don't. Anyway, please stop. Honestly, you freak him out, guys. You freak him out. You really freak him out. You don't know him. You might know some things about me. Even you, let's just say him, it's 0.0000. Me, it's 0.00, maybe 0.5. Okay? You still don't know everything about me. Okay, I put it on Baked in Pain. So if you've read Baked in Pain, okay, fine. Maybe then I'll give you, maybe about 10% of my life. Yes. But please, guys, please. There's nothing that freaks my husband out more than that. Because my husband is very reserved. He's just like, he lets me do my thing. This is not his life, But and then you all want him to know. It's okay, and I understand that sometimes there'll be the edge to, you get excited because you're quite invested in the story. Maybe you've read Baked in Pain, maybe you've seen me say something about him and his recovery and etc. But guys, no, guys. It's please, let's understand boundaries. Let's understand boundaries. I don't even know how I got to this point, but clearly I've been meaning to say this. I've been wanting and waiting for the opportunity. But anyway, the point is that he's come from very strong family foundation, and he was raised on, you support each other no matter what. I wasn't raised on any family foundation. So for me, it's everything I've had to learn. And in a way, you can say that there's certain things and certain ideologies that I adopted that probably are quite relevant, because even if I had grown up in a strong family setting where me and my siblings support each other, I still wouldn't expect my children to keep supporting each other if one is just lazy and not picking themselves up. I would never do that. So, and I've come from an environment also where I had to be the one that carries everyone. It destroys something inside of you, and it creates a very toxic dependency. So it's not that you are cruel or you don't want to carry people, but I just don't understand what the point is of carrying people who don't carry themselves. We should be meeting each other where we are, unless my understanding of life is different. But that's also okay, because it's my understanding. You have yours, I got mine, he got his. So sometimes I understand where he's coming from, but he also understands where the angle that I bring, and I think this is what is really beautiful about it. And this is what we bring to the table is diversity of opportunity, and diversity of and diversity of thoughts, and how we go about it. So it's really great. So yes, Lillian to me is family. Very few people actually have my husband's number. Of my friends, it's possible that she's the only one. Yeah, I think she's the only one. Because my husband is that person. Be like, why do they have my number? He's that person. He'll be like, no. Why do they have my number? Why do they need to call me? They are your friends, not my friends. He's a nice guy, by the way. I think so. He's nice, but he's very strict. So sometimes he gets so strict, and then I step in there. I'm like, wait. Yeah, but yeah, Lillian is family to me. And what she means to me is so much more than just a friend. And it's quite amazing how, like, literally the penny finally dropped. The penny finally dropped when she got sick, and I started to reflect on our friendship. And I started to see, like, it was literally everything being played back to me of how much of my life she occupies, and the role. But she's that person who'll be like, listen, I'm leaving work. I'm gonna pop by for a glass of wine and we can just chat. And she'll come here. So when she says she's coming, I think she's coming to chat about something that she needs to chat about. But she just comes here and she makes it all about me. And then I'm like, no. You didn't come here to just talk about me. What's happening? But I think I've also learned that she's not the person that's gonna always talk about what she's going through or her hardship. But I've learned that when she says, I'm popping by, I just wanna have a chat, and she comes and doesn't chat about her, it's her way of dealing with whatever she's dealing with, just by seeing me and the kids and Lonwabo and hang out. And then she's always, even now, like literally this call that I took, she's like, so what are you doing? What was this live about? But she's the one that's lying on a hospital bed. And she's like, no, don't talk. I actually want to tell you why I called you. And she's spoke. And of course, because I talk, she's like, yeah. Don't DPD up. Just listen, And I really treasure her. I am really just so blessed, because these kinds of friendships come once in a lifetime. And again, maybe they do come more than once in a lifetime. I just, like, this level and this depth, I haven't experienced before. So she's my family, and she's the only person I've made that promise to, because Mena, guys, I'll tell you something, since we are getting so personal. The one thing I've done over the years is There was actually a time when I used to envy people. Not, and I think envy is a strong word, but that's as close as I can get. Where people who stay and fight for relationships or things, I would be like, oh wow. And I would always think about it and think that maybe it has something to do with the fact that I don't have family roots and I don't really have, that was never fostered in my life. So I think when people watch their parents, maybe, let's say you watch your parents, you watch them disagree, fight, break up, and come back again, and all of those things. I was born and then they broke up because of me. That's it. That's my reality. It's they gone. So there isn't a, I've watched and I have a reference point of what relationships are like and how you deal with relationships. Everything I am, and I was saying this to Unati last night last night when we had dinner. I said, and we were actually sharing the same kind of conversation, but I was saying to her, there isn't anything in my life that is not a trigger, you know? Yes, admire. Thank you, Buntle. Admire. There isn't anything in my life that is not a trigger. I think, though, the admiration was a bit of cautious admiration, right? Cautious admiration. There isn't anything in my life that's not a trigger. Like literally, there's nothing that's not a trigger. I swim in triggers. But I've had to learn to be comfortable with triggers and turn the negative energy that they bring into positive energy. Because not every trigger is meant to hurt you. Some triggers are really meant to encourage you and remind you of where you've come from. So I've learned to be friends with triggers. I make friends with my triggers. And yeah, so it's always, so everything is just like people, when I used to see them and someone is fighting for relationships, I'll be like, wow, you know, I'm not like that. I mean, I don't fight for anything. Maybe my children, but I'm talking about relationships. I'm that person. If the energy is no longer good, I'm out. So Lillian is the only person I've made a promise to, that if something somehow gets in between us or threatens to, I'm going to fight for us, because I know she'll do the same. Because over a period of 10 years, I have never had to question her loyalty to me. And there's one thing I value more than anything else in life. It's loyalty. Loyalty is what I value more than anything else in life. It is what I prize more than anything else in life, because I am a loyal friend. At least I think I am. Maybe I think I am, and some friends are like, oh, that B ain't loyal. but it's the one thing I really treasure. And she truly is the only person I've made that promise to. Over the years, as I've been growing up, friendships, and even with relationships, guys, our romantic relationships, I still say it till today. The minute I'm not staying in my marriage because I'm fighting every day to make it better and we must commit to this relationship and make it better. No, I'm staying because it's actually really fun. You know, it doesn't feel like a chore. For me, the moment the energy is not good and everything feels like a chore, I'm like, I literally pull back into my shell, because I've got a really big shell. And as vocal and as public as I have a shell. And the minute I feel like you don't value me and you are not loyal to me in any shape or form, I withdraw into my shell. Because there's one thing that will always be inside of Amanda, is little Amanda. And little Amanda has come from trauma, has come from pain, has had to weather severe storms to be where she is. So every time I experience something that remotely looks like disloyalty and anything that just like remotely looks like you do not value me, or you do not place the same worth I place on myself or our friendship or our relationship, whatever it is, I literally withdraw back into my shell because I get freaked out. I get freaked out by the thought that I actually gave you my heart and this is what you've done to it. So it has had, and I've had this question before, and I think somebody asked this question earlier as well, is when you've come from where you've come from, how have you been able to actually open yourself up and love people? I've opened myself to love people who don't question me, you know, who don't make me feel like I have to explain myself. So I open up to people who I open up myself to people because I consciously do it. It's not something that comes naturally to me, but I've logically, it's an intellectual thing. So mentally, I've told myself that it's something I have to do. And then I give people a chance, and I'm that person. I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a long rope, but the minute I'm like, that's it. Like, you cannot convince me otherwise. I'm that person, and so I'm not a person that will stay in any relationship that does not value me. In fact, the trauma of that is severe for me. It's severe because I've spent so much time, so much of my life building myself to be the person that I am. If you are going to not be loyal to the person that I am as much as I am loyal to you, and I take people as they are, so I don't like, I'm really like a very loyal person. So for me, those are things that matter. And as a result, I never stayed in relationships for long. I never stayed in jobs for long. I was definitely a job hopper and a relationship hopper. I think I only have one friend that I've been friends with for 20 years or so. Zandile. She's amazing. But she's a person that actually gets, you could say we're both Aquarians, so it makes sense. I don't know anything about stars, to be honest, but there's something that's aligned. She's not needy, and I'm not needy. And we know, even if we're not together forever, when we're together, it's good. But everybody else, and Lillian is probably also one of my longest serving friends. Longest serving sounds like a job. I think it is a job. but yeah, I'm not that person. So I'm not a person that will accommodate drama. I'm not a person that, in fact, I find myself in situations sometimes where I'm like, oh my Lord, Amanda, you opened yourself up and you allowed yourself to be in this position. I'm a very closed person. When I say closed, I don't allow a lot of people close to me. And when I do though, and I've had to as I grow older, because it's something that you're like, okay, Amanda, remember, it's okay to, it's literally, I go in there and I'm like, knock, knock, little Amanda, are you in there? It's okay to come out, it's okay to come out. So then she literally steps out, like cautiously and absolutely terrified, and comes out, and it's like, okay, is it safe? And then, then she starts to be like, okay, all right, okay, starts to like warm up and things. And then you do something. She literally runs back. And then the big Amanda has to bring her out again and say, come, it's okay. It was, this was the situation. And come out. And then she comes out, but very reluctantly, she's like, no, this one is going to do to me what was done to me as a child. And this one, even if now it's showing up differently, it's the same feeling. It's the same feeling I had as a child. And for me, anybody that makes me feel that is a person that does not belong in my life. And it is, that's how. Hi guys, we went deep today. We went extremely deep today. Must be my friend Lillian. Yeah, that's how I am with relationships. And I think that this relationship question, I probably haven't really answered it to this extent, because I probably have been still, I've been trying to maybe like comprehend it and deal with it, and understand what it actually means. So when I was growing up, I think, sorry, less so now, because I think now now I'm 43. I'm just like, hey, beg, fight. If it requires too much fighting and too much talking and too much working out, it just becomes a chore for me. I love good energy, and good energy always wins. But you sometimes find yourself in situations where you think the energy is good, but it turns toxic for whatever reasons. And I'm not I actually used to think I'm not good with relationships, but I realized that, and the older I get, the more I realize that I'm really good with relationships, but I'm 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 best suited to people who deserve me. I'm best suited to people who deserve me, and I deserve them. And that way, there's no drama, there's no fight, there's no there's no toxicity, there's no competition, there's just none of this negativity. It's just pure love. I'm not saying people don't disagree or argue, or I mean, there are times when my husband irritates me and I irritate him, but the core of what keeps us together understands that that's just, you know, that's just life. We all get irritated, it's like whatever, I so yeah, I think for a long time I used to think that, wow, people who I actually used to say, I'll tell you the exact words. I used to say that they have got staying power. I used to tell myself that I don't have staying power. And sometimes it used to bother me that I didn't have staying power. But I realized, the older I got, the more I grew into my own skin, the more I got to understand myself. I realized that, no, actually, I'm glad I don't have staying power in those instances, because why the hell should you be staying with people who make you feel small, who don't choose you? Why? So yeah, thank you for sharing your stories too. I know I'm carrying on, but I'm also reading your comments at the same time. And it's true. I'm best suited to people who deserve me. And I realize that, and I've always known this, but sometimes you get caught up in the act of trying to be, an open person, trying to welcome others into your almost like to break down these walls. I have walls, and I've said this before. I said my husband is the one person that's never made me feel like my walls were an issue. He's never even mentioned walls, but I know I have them. But I've had people in my life multiple times who tell me, yeah, you've got, your walls are too, hey, you don't do this, you don't do that. Well, actually, that's also why I didn't marry them. Yeah. I didn't marry them. Keleto says, I feel you, Amanda. I'm swimming in triggers as well. How are you handling your triggers? I think I would like to know. Zama Mama Bear says, can I just drop a silly question? How do you conceive twins? You copy and paste. Okay, there's a question here that says, how can I spend more time on the job hopping? So let me tell you, I I think my last corporate job was the only job I stayed longer than 3 years. In fact, I left on the fourth year. I really cannot tolerate pain. I really can't. Like, I've already told you about little Amanda. I've already told you about that shell. I've already told you about it all. So for me, every time I went into an environment, I gave it everything. But if I felt that this was not the environment for me, I left, and I always betted on myself to find a job. There was never a time when I was out of a job or without a job. I was highly employable. Now I'm not. I'm not employable now, guys. Nobody will employ me. Even if I wanted a job, they'll be like, you are a no. They'll be like, no, ways, you're not hiring Amanda. She's gonna cost us too much, and she's gonna be a headache every day. Yeah, so I always betted on myself. I didn't stay. If I didn't enjoy it, I didn't stay. I didn't stay in relationships if I didn't enjoy them. I didn't stay in jobs if I didn't enjoy them. I just always believed I deserve better. I deserve environments that deserved me. I always believed, always. It's in fact how incredible it is that from what I believed of myself as a child to where I am now, I have had such a consistent belief in what I deserve and who I am. And I was never ever willing to compromise. I just couldn't. I could not compromise. I simply could not. It's not in me to compromise. So if that means now I don't have staying power, I thought at some point that staying power and maturity, because we're in a society that says tolerating BS is maturity. And then I thought, hey man, I'm okay to stay immature for the rest of my life. No. No. Imagine me, guys, as a miserable person. I know. No. That's why when people ask me, I'm in a miserable job, what do I do? I'm like, leave. But maybe, again, I try and think, maybe you want me to tell you something like, hang in there, fight for it, solve what's not working. No, if you're miserable, leave. That's it. That's it. If you're miserable, live. And we need to stop layering these conversations with things that don't exist. Guys, live if you are miserable. Because life is not meant to be lived miserable. It simply isn't. Well, I grew into the other questions. How do you grow into an executive position if you're job hopping? Well, you think you must stay in a job for 20 years before you get to the executive position. Ask how many people have stayed in companies for years and leave resentful because they are not getting this promotion they've been waiting and fighting for. Some have to wait for someone to die before they even get a promotion. Moving into executive roles and moving into and succeeding in your career has nothing to do with job hopping. I had a rule: 2 years. If I'm bored, I'm leaving. I'm not staying. I didn't care for executive positions. I cared that I was happy in what I was doing. I cared that I was motivated, and I could get myself enthusiastic about what I was doing. So no, job hopping has nothing to do with opportunities being held back from you. In fact, being promoted and succeeding in your career has got nothing to do with the years you're working in that job. Because you I personally think that if you change jobs often, you're getting good experience. You get to understand yourself better. You get to work with more people. You get to be a better leader. You get to be better because you've got diversity of experience. How many people have only worked for one company for their entire life, and you talk to them and you realize how closed-minded they are? So please, job hop. Job hop. That's what I tell my children. Like, first of all, don't work for anyone. If there's one thing I'm going to make sure in my life is that you never have to work for anyone. If you do, it's your choice, not because you are out of choice. So don't even think that the first thing you should, it should never be at the top of your mind. And I don't know if the top of the mind is over here, but like over here, it should never be that you will work for somebody. Right now, think, I am going to work for myself. I'm going to find that passion. I'm going to try different things. I am not going to be so desperate for money that I end up staying in a miserable situation simply because. And that's something that I work for my children. What they do with it then when I'm gone, I can't rule from the grave now, can I? No, but so I don't feel bad for leaving jobs. If you're not happy, guys, you're not happy. I don't want to normalize unhappiness, man. I don't want to normalize BS, guys. No ways. No ways. No. I don't think that's what we deserve. I really don't think that's what we deserve. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to do things that matter to us. If you want to change a job, change it. Go find another one. You know, we like to think that no one wants us. Yeah, and a lot of you people say that. No one wants me. Who's gonna want me? Oh, me. Who's gonna want me? Yo, man, the queue is long. I'm like, you deserve better. Yeah, and I think, yeah, I also always caution people who marry their first person. I'm just like, eh? The first one. So people who talk about high school sweethearts, there's nothing aspirational for me about that. And I respect people who have done that, who are okay with that. I just think it's a very dangerous situation. I think it's a very dangerous situation. yo. No. So, no. Please explore life. Explore whatever feels right. So I'm not saying do what I say. I'm just saying explore whatever feels right. You deserve better. You deserve to free yourself. So what if things don't work out as you thought? You just keep going. You just keep going. You know? Just keep going. Yeah. No. I'm glad I didn't marry any first. That was all disastrous. Why would I do that? No. Even with my children, I mean, as young as my son is, I mean, I'm sure I've said it before. He's quite into. He's quiet now for a while. He's quiet, but the one thing I said to him, that one girl who broke your heart, baby. I'm like, there are so many girls. I'm like, next week you would have forgotten about her. Like, move on, okay? He's like, yeah, but mama, that's the one I really like. I'm like, sure. I remind him, remember the other time you liked the other one and then now you've completely forgotten about them. Correct. So, you know, sample different options, get to know yourself and understand. And please, I mean, and the ones who are listening here, you know how sticky I am about safety. So please be safe. You know exactly what I mean. Be safe. But don't go giving your heart to everyone that's willing to take it. No, only choose people who deserve you. Choose people who deserve you. Don't be so desperate that you want to be loved. You go around dishing up all the goods to every single person that's willing to receive them. No. And it's not about them. You know, I don't connect to this thing where women are like, oh my gosh, you all know yourselves. You ask your person, you're like, oh, why did you choose me? I never ask questions like that. Why did you choose me? I know why you chose me. Premium stock, top shelf, top drawer stuff. I know why you chose me. You are lucky you chose me. Wait, you are lucky I chose you, because you didn't choose me. I chose you. Guys, I haven't even had, like, I'm only on like the second glass of champagne. So don't think I'm talking from champagne. No, this is me talking. And my friend Lillian will tell you this is me talking. You guys are killing me. Yeah. No, I mean, I am, Shem. And if you start having a different opinion of yourself, and different opinion of yourself doesn't just come out of the blue. You work to get to an opinion of yourself. And for me, it means, no, I'm not gonna fight for relationships that I don't like. Why must I fight for anything? Why must I fight? So I must beg you to love me. I must beg you to find me worthy. I must beg you to actually be loyal to me. Why the hell would I do that? I'd rather be here all by myself with me, myself, and I, because I know exactly what my opinion of myself is. And thank God I married someone who understands that he is also premium stock and doesn't need me to keep telling him that, even though every now and then, guys, I get so romantic. I stare at him and he's like, why are you looking at me like that? I'm like, how I'm being romantic. You look so hot. No, that's what I am, guys. I mean, I'm not gonna mince my words. I'm not gonna shrink myself just so other people must feel comfortable. I am proper demand stock, premium. Like, there's nothing minuscule about me. Nothing. Anyway, I always say that, even when even as I speak like this, someday maybe you hear something happened to me and my husband. We went our separate ways for whatever reason, because life happens. And then you're like, but Amanda, you said, yeah, no, man, I've been married for 14 years successfully, so, and my success of my marriage is different to yours, so don't even try to compare it, because there's no comparison. Mine is mine, and my husband and I are happily married in our 14 years. We've learned, we've grown, it works for us. So if tomorrow we decide it's not, we don't want it anymore, don't come back here and be like, yeah, but Amanda, you were preaching the other day about, like, no, that's the problem with you guys. You think because people have told you something, then you must have an opinion, and things don't go the way that they wanted, or they choose otherwise. Sugar, stay in your corner. People are allowed to grow and evolve. Remember what I said, if it starts feeling like a chore and easy, I'm not coming. No. The only chore I need to do is, oh wait, I don't even do chores. So I already think I've been successfully married, because it's been 14 years. Guys, anything from here on is a bonus. I always say to my husband, I'm like, when soon you'll be, he's 3 years from how old is he? Wait. What's happening? I've gone blank. He's about 4 years from 50. So I tell him, when you turn 50, you start having midlife crisis. Don't worry. Don't even think, oh, poor Amanda. I'll be like, Oh, sure, bye. Peace. I'm like, how you met me is the same way I will be. So, like, my life's gonna end. Then it would have been a part of my life, a significant part of my life, a beautiful part of my life. But if it's done, it's done. EQ in there. The queue is long, guys. So don't think because I've chosen to be here that I don't have options or other choices. I'll be like, you do you. And I always tell my husband, I want you to be happy. I actually really like you as a human being. I want you to be happy. And don't ever come home to me out of pity. Yo, I will lose my mind. Because then you don't deserve me. So, anyway, we're talking big people's things today. We're talking. No, it's not the wine, love. It's Amanda. It's just me. Like, literally, this is a second glass. I can have a lot of champagne and still be talking like this. But right now, it's me talking. Don't ever, don't attach it to any. Every time I talk, it's me. It's got nothing to do with champagne. No, I think, yeah, this is what I wanted to say today. This is what I wanted to say today. That the minute something feels like a chore, don't do it. The minute it's not good. But that's just me, by the way. I think I should be careful to tell you what not to do, because that's not what I do. I don't tell people what to do. I'm just saying that this is it. This is me, you know. I think even when my husband came to from COVID, he was just like, he's like, tell them I'm still here. All those who were hoping that he must try, he's like, tell them it's sur. Yeah, thanks guys. Thank you very much. I am much enjoying it myself. I'm enjoying spending time with you. And I think that, yeah, I only say what is in my heart, and it's important that we remain true to who we are, instead of always following what other people's rules are. So I really hope that even in your own life you don't ever devalue yourself. And yeah, it's books for Botswana. You'll soon know. I'll do a post. They're already in Botswana, so they can start delivering them. Thank you guys. Yeah, so I really think that ultimately, and I've told you this multiple times before, I live my life as though this moment now is my last one. So everything I do with the notion that I don't have tomorrow. So, because I think if you think you have tomorrow, you leave so many things to tomorrow. Sorry, you leave so many things to tomorrow, and you never actually live your life to the fullest. Because think about it, if you knew that you were dying at a certain date, how would you live your life? How would you live your life? How would you live your life? Because that however you would live your life, that is exactly how you should live your life. I always say start with the end in mind. I start with the end in mind. If it works for you, great. But it works for me. So there's no room in, if I was dying in this next minute, I can assure you that there'll be no room to be thinking I deserve scraps and that I deserve to beg people to love me. to beg people to find me valuable, to beg people to put me somewhere at the top of their list, or to beg people to care. No. So I became okay with the fact that the kind of staying power I was seeing is not my kind of staying power. And remember, in fact, we were even talking about this last night with Unati, that we come from families that tell you, you'll tell them you're having trouble in your marriage, they'll tell you, no, stay. You'll tell them he's beating me up, they'll tell you, stay. You tell them and that's not me, I'm just saying what other women go through. They tell their families, I cannot do this anymore. And the families say, stay and work it out. Stay and work it out, right? So I don't know if that, I mean, you decide what your right is and what your wrong is. But anything that I have to work on is something I don't want, because, especially relationships, there's so many other things to work on. Business, you're working on it. Homework, you're working on it. Online schooling, you're working on it. There's so many things to work on. My relationships should not be the ones I need to work on. They should just be organic. They should be fun. They should be loving. They should be places of comfort. They should be places of comfort. So that goes for all my relationships. They should be places of comfort. If not, then that's fine. Let's keep it moving, baby. Keep it moving. So, yeah, I think that's me. That's my story. That's my story. Is that it? Oh. You can come this side. You're not going to see anything. But yeah. Thank you. I think you are as valuable as what you believe you are. If you think people are doing you a favor, then I don't know. Then that's what you're gonna get, and that's how they're gonna treat you. I've got way too much pride for that. Way too much pride for that. Yeah, I've got way too much pride for that. Nina, sure, okay, guys. Never. I never. I'd rather be called all kinds of names. I'm just like, I'm not doing it. I'll tolerate nothing. I'll work on nothing. And I mean, this doesn't take away the fact that, we are all human beings. We like different things at different times. But the minute it's a chore, the minute you feel like you are putting in more than the other, the minute you constantly feeling like you are not being valued, there's nothing to stay for. I'm sorry if you think there's nothing. And I don't know, maybe there are some instances where that has worked, but I don't want to know, by the way. So in case you feel like I need to know, no, I don't need to know. It's your life. I was just telling you about mine. So I think we can leave it here. Oh man. I'm glad. I'm blowing kisses to some people that I know are out there. Did I take the COVID jab? Yes, I did. I'm waiting for my second one, end of August. I didn't have any side effects, no. I got the Pfizer. I mean, I don't know if it makes a difference what it is, but somebody did say they had some side effects on the J&J, but I had no side effects. And I can't wait for the second one. I can't wait because I'm just like tired of this period. It's a season that's taken quite long. I've been able to dig deep and and stay in the moment, knowing that it's going to change, it's going to turn. But it's been hard. It's been very hard. It's been very, very hard. So from Zambia, hello. Yeah, I think you're right, Nyame. She says, I view that staying mindset as a sign that healing needs to take place. But you know, one of the things that we always think, especially as women, I cannot talk for men because I'm not a man. I think it'd be ridiculous of me to speak on men's behalf. But I think large, and it links up to the conversation I've just had now. We like to think that we can heal people and rescue people. We can't. You can't. We like to think that we are the dose that's going to change people. No, you can't. You can't change someone. You cannot heal anyone. You can't do it. It is, you cannot do it because it's a personal choice. It's a personal decision. Some people are like, oh no, let me stick around because Shanyazi, he had such a tough childhood. So he takes it out on me sometimes because he's frustrated. Really? So when it's okay for you to be a punching bag just because he's frustrated. So no, you can't heal anybody. You can't. And so many women complain that, oh, you know, I thought he would change when we got married. Woo shame. I can tell you, I've been married for 14 years. I'm sure there's people who've been married for 100 years. They'll tell you the same thing. Nobody changes because they're married. In fact, they become who they truly are. So when you're busy sitting there thinking, oh, you know, my love is going to heal him. What kind of love do you think you possess? You can't. I'm sorry, you can't. And I'm laughing about it, tongue in cheek about it, because it's a really tough thing. But the truth is that we all think we are so supremely special that we can turn people's pain, undo their potty training, you name it. We think we can do it. No, you can't. You can't. You can't. And I'm of the very strong opinion that when you are busy dating, you should not be thinking you are dating for, you know, the big people stuff, because that might be good. But what if you marry this person? What if you end up having children with this person? So I really think when we are choosing partners, we should be choosing for the future. We should be choosing for our children, if that's something we want to do. So when I was dating, I always thought, you know, I might just date this person and then the next thing, I'm married to them. So I was always that person. I think some of them even told me my standards were too high. I was just like, I didn't even have, well, I had standards. I always have standards. But if you think they're too high, then, hey, let me keep walking, because clearly you ain't the one. I'm not going to drop them because when you can't meet them. So, bye-bye. 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 So until you get to the one that's like, hey, man, I like this challenge. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Choose the person that you can see fathering your children, being your life partner, being that person to your children that you maybe might be lacking somewhere, you know. Kyle guys has been married 20 years in November. You're right, Amanda. You cannot change anybody. Yeah, absolutely. so I really think that, you know, in the moments where you're busy trying to date, and I'm not even referring, you know, like choose the father for your children, because it's not a gender thing. So even if it applies to everything, to everyone, LGBTIQ plus, you name it. Whoever you choose as your partner must, even when you're dating, because your life can be so exciting and unpredictable. I before I met my husband, I didn't even want to get married or have children. And I was very clear that I'm not even gonna, like, I had no interest in any of that, so I wasn't even gonna try and massage anyone towards that. Then I met him. 7 months later, we're engaged. A year later, we're married. We already have twins who are 4 months old. Like, but everything felt so right. Like it was just like it was meant to be like this. There was no effort in it. It was just amazing. So imagine if I had dropped my standards because I'm like, I know I'm just dating. You, then I end up with this person, and then I'm like, oh, what did I do? I don't ever drop your standards. You drop your standards, be prepared to cry for the rest of your life. The rest of your life. Choose, love who you choose who you love. So important. That sounds actually quite profound. Hi guys, I don't even know how long I've been on this thing, okay? But I appreciate the privilege of your time and hanging out with me. Yeah, I've dished out every single thing today. I've dished it all out. But yeah, don't 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 underestimate the power of your decisions. Don't underestimate the power of your decisions. Don't underestimate the power of your decisions and how far reaching they go. So every time you're busy choosing a mate, please decide, be clear that that could turn serious very quickly. Hello, baby. That could turn serious very quickly. Then the next thing, you have an entourage of children and you hate the guts of this person you are sharing them with. So I just don't think they deserve that. And I really think that personal values are a big thing. And we shouldn't compromise on them because we're desperate. No. And I think if you've worked on yourself and polished the gem that you are, you know that even when endings come, doesn't matter what shape or form they are, be it friends, partners, jobs, you know that they are not endings. They're just beginnings of something more special, something that you deserve. So no, I also really just can't relate to people staying in miserable situations. So maybe to spare both of us, it's okay not to ask me that question because I'll never be able to give you the answer you think you want. Because I'm just gonna outright ask you, why are you still staying if you're miserable? And you might think I'm being cold, but so I just want you to know that it's something I'll never tell you. In fact, I'll ask you, what took you so long? you know but again, I don't judge why people stay. I don't That's none of my business. In fact, it's not for me to judge. But I'm just saying that maybe just apply yourself to yourself a bit more. Yeah, apply to yourself to what you deserve. And if you are constantly feeling like you're on the receiving end of a bad situation, ask yourself why you are constantly the one on the receiving end of a bad situation. And the only person you take everywhere you go is yourself. So every single compartment of your life, the only common denominator is you. Only you. So your decisions set up your future, but not just your future, the future of generations to come. Generations to come. It's been great hanging out with you guys. So I'm gonna get off now because I don't even know how long I've been on this. But I hope that you found some value. Thank you for the good laugh. I think we had some good laughs here. We really had some good laughs. I hope you keep well. I hope you You don't ever, ever, ever dull your value or drop your value. I hope that you know how special you are. But you'll never be special to other people if you don't think you're special. People will treat you as far as you are letting them, and as far as you are, you as far as the energy you exude. So, man, we deserve to be happy, man. Yes, we deserve to be so happy, joyful. You know, a deep sense of happy. It's not like we all don't go through hard times. We all go through hard times. All of us. Yeah. But I just think joy is a personal choice, is a decision. And rather stay in your corner by yourself if you constantly are with people who don't deserve you. And just know they're not doing you a favor. Honestly, I think you'll live without friends if you don't have good friends around you. Don't tolerate the ones you have and constantly feel drained. Especially in this time that we're living in, you don't need bad energy around you, because yeah, guys, we are all on the tipping edge. Like literally, all we need is one little push and we're over the edge. So the last thing you need when you are in a state of this much fragility is bad energy. So if there's one thing that I hope we take away from this period, is that we should not be allowing ourselves to keep drinking from toxic energy, to keep inhaling toxic fumes, because we don't deserve that. We deserve better. We deserve a great life. Why not? Why shouldn't we have a great life? Why must other people have a great life and not us? So, thanks for your time. Thanks for hanging out. Take good care. This was awesome. Bye, guys. Take care. God bless you. Thank you for all your prayers. I appreciate them so much. Thank you. Thank you. My friend Lillian phoned me today. I'm really happy. I'm so happy. But thank you so much and take good care.